What's your great character today?
Hi, everybody, and welcome back to the Great Character Podcast, episode 8, with me, Lewis Sweeney, Harry Bamforth, Nathan Edwards, and Matt Wiley. Uh, Bit of a switch around this week. I'm obviously, taking the reins as presenter. Harry has kindly passed the spotlight over to me. Today, we're going to be doing a little recap of the Premier League results, which wasn't a really a good weekend for any of our teams. Then we're moving on to some more top 10 lists, which you guys seem to have enjoyed to those that do watch. So we'll be doing top 10 dives and then top 5 Premier League seasons. So starting with the results, I think we'll go to Nathan first. This is giggling. What did you think of Chelsea?
Rubbish. Ooh.
I thought they were okay, besides just everyone's incapable of actually shooting, especially. And then the Hudson-Odoi thing, that wasn't really that big of an issue, which everyone made out to be. Because he was absolutely balling on Tuesday, I think it was, against Atletico.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Well,
I thought it was okay. It was bound to happen.
Well, I want
And if you watch it,
to ask you about that, right? This is kind of taken away from the Chelsea Southampton game. I was listening to a thing on an app called Clubhouse that was like about Chelsea at the end, and everyone was praising Tuchel, saying you were amazing against Atletico. I didn't think you were that good at all, but I just thought Atletico were really bad.
you're just a Tuchel hater.
I'm not a Tuchel hater. He's just not the best German manager in the Premier League. Just saying.
Just look at the league table.
Just look at the amount of league wins Klopp has.
It'll be fine by the end of the season. It'll be level.
So you think you're going to win the league? What a state.
Yeah.
What did you think of Mason Mount against
Oh, yeah.
Southampton?
Yeah, he's been really good recently. He's actually been the only decent. Him and Kovacic, like they've been the consistent players. Everyone else on the Southampton game was pretty crap. I didn't think Hudson-Odoi was actually that bad.
I think
Oh,
He got subbed, so
yeah, right. What did you think of that? That was weird because I watched Carragher's breakdown.
I read something on the Athletic.
Yeah.
I read something on the Athletic, and I think it was Michael Cox, and he said that it could have actually just been a message to the team, like the emphasis on actually, I think it was counter pressing or something. And if you don't do it, then you will, like, I don't care, you're just going to get subbed off. I think Hudson-Odoi was just, it could have been anyone, but just because he came on, it meant more of a message. But I don't think it was that big of a deal.
I mean, to be honest, Ziyech did absolutely nothing when he came on. So it's not like
Yeah,
it didn't
crap.
benefit you in any way taking Hudson-Odoi off and bringing.
He just does not care. He just walks around, just hitting balls over the top to flipping Timo Werner, and he can't control a football. So it's just a bit crap, really. But Chelsea are right. So
Werner's been a lot better recently. He
finishing.
He just needs to get his finishing going, and then he'd be fine.
I heard everyone complain about his finishing on Tuesday, but it wasn't that bad. Like the shots he had were pretty decent, and they were from hard angles. And it was against Oblak, the best keeper in the world, so you can't really complain.
To be honest, Tuesday was one of the most forgettable games I've ever watched. Because I can tell you that because I was on Clubhouse I do a chat show with somebody I know called Greg. And basically I was doing that chat show and we were doing the Chelsea and Atletico game, but it was so bad there was nothing to talk about the game.
Suarez's pinch was probably the most entertaining thing. I wanted Rudiger to throw a punch.
He was ball handling.
Oh.
No, I'm joking. He wasn't. He didn't do that.
Yeah.
He just pinched.
Taking after Saliba.
I think he pinched his groin. But I mean, Chelsea are in a lot better way than some of our other clubs are.
Yeah. I mean, Nathan got the best result of the weekend, and that was
Which
nice.
tells you everything you need to know.
Let's segue on to Liverpool. I feel like we'll talk about your travesty first instead of
You
mine.
said, Harry, you predicted this.
I did. I predicted it, but that's depressing. The fact that I'm not confident at all. Why didn't I? And if you watch last podcast, I said 1-1, but I had a feeling inside of me that Liverpool wouldn't score and Everton would do something. You were the one, Nathan, that actually predicted the result out of all of us.
I said 1-0, and then flipping Trent Alexander-Arnold headbutts goddamn Calvert-Lewin when he's running through.
I think that was really harsh. I do.
Yeah.
But like, especially in the situation we were in, to be fair, it didn't matter too much to me because I knew we weren't going to score anyway. I was just upset anyway. We weren't going to get that equaliser. I think the only time we looked like we could score was that 15 minutes after the second half started. We looked like we might score in that period of time. After that, same old story. You could literally send me a clip of 90 minutes every week and it'd be exactly the same. That's what it feels like watching Liverpool at the moment. Deja vu after deja vu, passing it around the box, but not creating much.
Getting that chance, yeah.
It's just sad.
Do you actually think Thiago? What do you think of Thiago? Because obviously, like, he is good, obviously, but it is becoming a problem. Like every time he's in the starting
I
lineup,
don't think he's the problem, though. I still don't think he's the problem, and people are using him as a scapegoat because they know how good he is. So I think that if you put him right, so that his man of the match performances were alongside. So against Everton, when he got man of the match in the first derby, he was alongside Fabinho and Henderson and on the left side of midfield. Since then, he was injured, but he hasn't played the left-hand side of that midfield, and he doesn't have Fabinho and Hendo next to him. So he's not allowed to be like, I don't know. And we're so high up, we're higher up than we've ever been because the teams are sitting so deep because they know that's what we struggle against. That even Thiago, again, with Jones and Wijnaldum, which are realistically similar players to him, especially Wijnaldum looks absolutely knackered right now. He looks so tired. So I don't think Thiago's a problem. I think it's the whole team chemistry right now is just completely off, and people are using Thiago as a scapegoat, really, because they're like, oh, he's new. He's not been. I'm not saying he's been great. He's not been fantastic, but he's not the problem yet. I guess if next year, with Fabinho and Henderson and everyone in the midfield and the full team, and he's struggling and not being great, then maybe he might be. But I just don't think he's in a
I don't
midfield
think that would be fair.
where he can excel. So,
Well, you said Firmino should get sold, didn't you?
yeah,
To me,
maybe not sold, but I think unfortunately Firmino is a big problem for Liverpool now because we're used to him being consistently brilliant. But now we're only seeing that brilliance once every 10 games, once every 5-10 games. It's just not enough. So I think he's a massive problem for Liverpool going forward because we need that striker. The problem is we need a striker that can do similar things to him, and there's not many out there. Because even if you go out and get Haaland, he's brilliant, and I would sell my right leg for him. He's that good. But at the same time, he's still very different, and Klopp would have to adapt him into a striker that he wants to play with. And you might see a different Haaland if he joined Liverpool. But then we can't even talk about these big signings unless we make the Champions League, which unfortunately it's not slipped away yet because there's still so much time to go. And if Liverpool beat Chelsea next week, win this week, then they can do it. But I mean, it's not looking great. So
everybody's flipping shocking though around.
Other than
Burnley.
Well, to be fair, this week they all won apart.
Leicester are the only that are kind of overachieving.
They're not overachieving.
You don't think Leicester are overachieving?
No, because they did it last season.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if you look at the points, that's the thing. They've got less points than they did this time last season. It's just the rest of the league struggling so much.
You mentioned Bobby, and I was going to say who needs selling in the summer. So I guess I'll ask Matt, who needs to go in the summer? Does Bobby need to?
I mean, my problem is I never like selling anyone because I'm proper hoarder, right? I'm proper. Once someone's in my team, I hate. Even on FIFA, when I'm playing FIFA, if somebody comes in with a ridiculous bid for one of my players, I'm playing at Liverpool. I hate letting players go. But I just think what you were saying about Firmino, we need players. We need somebody that can take a bit of pressure off Firmino. Haaland wishful thinking, isn't it? I think even if we make Champions League, Haaland didn't come in. It's just wishful thinking. Would you agree?
Can I throw a name in the hat?
I think it will come to the Prem.
Do you think?
Go on, Lewis.
Yeah.
I was going to throw Patrick Bamford in there.
Oh
What do you
God.
think? No? Matt don't like the sound of that.
He hates Leeds, mate. You can't say a Leeds player. He hates
You
it.
cannot say a lead player to me. No, I'm not having that.
Would that be
Not even with his numbers.
Liverpool's third Chelsea reject as well? Solanke, Brewster, and then Bamford.
Yeah.
Oh, you're forgetting one big one.
Go on.
Oh, but we don't need to say that one, do we?
Who has been, if we're realistic, holding us by the scruff of the neck. Well, the only reason we're sixth is because of him. Because I mean,
Without Salah, you would be nowhere.
it's scary, the form, relegation form, 8 points in 10 games. Whereas last season in those games you would have got 30 points. So
Well, there's that form table into since New Year's Day was 17th.
it is mental because Mane and Firmino aren't doing enough. I think Mane's been a big problem as well. I've said it in other things. He's just not wowing me anymore. He's fallen so far from the form we saw him last year, where he was one of the best players in the world, 4th in the Ballon d'Or last year, to now. He honestly, every time, it's like they all got touches, like their feet are bricks, and the balls just they're literally flying off the corners of like bricks. It's honestly, the touches,
It's weird.
the links between the front three are just not there at all. And someone said this, right? The reason you can't pin it on Thiago, if Thiago saw space for Salah, Firmino, Mane, he would hit that ball dead on. We all know that. None of us can say he wouldn't, because he would. But there is genuinely no space. And Salah and Firmino and Mane aren't creating that space. Maybe Salah is from time to time. But there's nowhere to run in behind. And so the pace of Salah and Mane kind of becomes null because there's nowhere to run in behind. The pace doesn't matter as much. It's about your skill and your technical ability. Whereas love Mane, but this season he's lacking in that. Losing the ball way too much. So
I think once next season they have a break, they'll be just as good as they were last season. It's just they haven't had a break in there.
Jota's now back in training. Well, one thing, the best thing, Jota being back in training was amazing. But seeing Van Dijk on that football pitch, I've never been in love with somebody in my life that much. Sorry, actually, I have a girlfriend. I'm joking, but like,
Wow.
I don't, and I
Actually, I take that back. Dominic Calvert-Lewin's hair.
Yeah, I was about to say that as well.
No, but honestly, he is coming back so quickly. I'm kind of nervous because we all knew he was quick at recovering from things, but like, mate, he could be back end of March, early April. No, but he could be. Like, I'm not joking. Like,
they won't risk it though.
There's Jordan Pickford
you
when
say
you-
that. You say that. If we've got hunting chance of a Champions League place, he will play. He will. We've
Do you
got
think you have
that
a better
many
shot of getting the
problems.
Champions League? Do you think you have a better shot of getting the Champions League by winning the Champions League or top four?
Well, if Van Dijk
Because
comes
in the
back,
Champions League, you're like a completely different team.
if Van Dijk comes back for April and we manage to scrape our way through to the
Jesus.
to the semis, we could win it. But if he doesn't and nobody comes back, I don't think we will.
Famous last words. Does Wijnaldum not need to take some accountability as well? Because his performance has, they've not been world beating. And I was watching, True Geordie. I was watching his stream the other day, and they compared him to that kid in PE that just jogged about and made it look like he was busy, like he'd hover by the ball and stuff, which felt like a personal attack on me. That's exactly what.
But with Wijnaldum, he's played every game.
Yeah.
He's played pretty much every game this season, and he's played in the deep role where he's got to work really, really hard, and he's playing twice a week in a position he might be a bit further up normally with players around him that aren't his normal midfield. He's having to do the brunt of the work. He is knackered. I'm sorry, like,
And you want to be there.
I'm not saying his performances haven't been good enough of late, but I understand why, because he's playing. He looks shattered, mate. There's no rotation in that midfield. Because everyone, and whenever anyone comes in, they get injured. And unfortunately, Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain hasn't done enough to warrant a place in that team. And if you put him in, Wijnaldum is probably the most defensive of them, so he has to be in the team because there's nobody else right now. So he's playing every week. He's knackered every week. I just think, yes, he hasn't been great, and maybe he should take some accountability. But I think it's too hard to slate him because he's done so much for us. I just think he's not the one that you should really be aiming at.
When Jordan Henderson comes back, don't put him centre back. Just put
He's
him in
missing the
midfield.
rest of the season,
You
pretty much.
joking?
Oh, is he?
Oh, sugar.
12 weeks.
I didn't know that.
And people, I've had conversations. I'm not going to moan too much because I am getting bored. Like every other Liverpool fan, every Liverpool journalist, I'm getting bored of talking about Van Dijk's out, Matip's out, Gomez is out, Henderson's out, all these people are out because it is boring. Like I don't want to talk about that, but it's just facts. Like every week we get a new hit with a horrible, like it's like one person comes back, excitement builds, and then a big player gets injured. A massive one. No offense. It's not like Curtis Jones picked something up. Love him to pieces, but it's not like Curtis Jones picked him up. Jordan Henderson. And the problem is now Henderson's out, Van Dijk's out, Milner's out. We don't have leaders in our team anymore. All our leaders are not.
Yeah, but they're still there on the sideline.
It's different, mate. It's different to being on the pitch. Completely different.
I don't know.
Well,
Man.
nah, because Klopp's on the sidelines, but someone on the pitch picking you up. Gerrard was one of those men. He was a leader with mainly his actions, but also his words. And he dragged people to become better performers. Without Gerrard on the pitch, some of those players wouldn't perform as well. It's the same with Henderson. I think Van Dijk, some of those, that's a very big trait with him as well. So, like, without these players on the pitch, the leadership's completely gone. And that's why they're dropping their heads. And they're not leadership is when you concede a goal, someone, Henderson, Van Dijk.
Yeah, but even with Henderson on,
Huh?
even with Henderson on, like with Leicester, he was on the pitch and you went on to concede 3 or 2 more after you conceded.
No, I know he's been on the pitch, but I'm just saying we're losing an extra leader. We've already lost 2 leading up to these games, but an extra leader doesn't help.
Matt, I've got one for you, and then I'll ask Harry the same question. Right, you've got a choice. You keep Wijnaldum and you're forced to sell Curtis Jones, or vice versa. You keep Jones and you're forced to sell Wijnaldum. What would you do?
Oh, that's a tough one. I mean, I get what you're saying about Wijnaldum, Harry. I think he's a good player. He is a good player. There's no doubt about that. But the fact that he is being, I mean, we've seen what he can do for Holland when he plays in that more advanced role. Oh, but, this is like what we were saying yesterday, isn't it? We like a local lad in the team.
Is he a good local lad?
Sell Wijnaldum, keep Jones.
Ooh. Oh, I didn't expect that.
Put a gun to my head, sell Wijnaldum, keep Jones.
Ooh. Interesting. Harry, what are you saying?
Oh, God. Well,
Good one.
Wijnaldum, this is the thing I do not understand as much as other people. Everyone talks about how good he is for Holland, how many goals he scores. Completely different position. And in the position he's played for Liverpool, he's been immaculate and we've won the Champions League and Premier League. So don't really get that argument personally. But Jones is so young, man. Like, Jones could become Wijnaldum or better. And Wijnaldum wants to leave anyway. So we're not even selling him. He's going on a bloody free in the summer. So it's not even our choice. Like, he's just leaving. So I'd say Jones because Wijnaldum's leaving anyway.
Yeah, but Jones is 20, and then you look at some of the other youngsters, Saka, Foden, Greenwood. They're doing so much more than him.
What's annoying?
At a younger age.
Different players, different situations.
Definitely, but with the most, no.
Because Foden came into the team. Foden came into the team when he was 17.
Yeah.
Also, like, he's playing in a team that on right now is he is the best English youngster right now. Saka's close behind, but Foden is. And Saka, number one, they're wingers anyway. Jones is in the midfield, and Jones is also in the midfield, like we said, with Thiago struggling. It's so imbalanced, and we're struggling so much. But I actually think Jones has been one of our best players this season, and is actually not talked about enough for how good he's been. So I think he's been underappreciated by a lot of people, really. But I don't think he only got into the team this year, whereas Greenwood got into it last year. Saka got into it last year, maybe the year before. Foden got into it a couple of years ago. So he's maybe a couple of years behind. He's still only 20. Everyone develops at different ages. He's different position. Also, Liverpool had a team where you wouldn't put him into the midfield because our midfield was so good. And people always said, but you need that creativity. You've not got that De Bruyne. You've not got that. Well, they never said you've not got that Gundogan, but that's what he is now. But we never needed that last year. I guess now, and then we got it with Thiago, and it's not been as plain sailing. But
Did anyone watch the Villa game?
no.
You saved
No.
90 minutes of your life. Well, I should say 45. It weren't too bad. I mean, that's one of the worst half of football I've seen us play this season. Did you see the goals by any chance?
No.
I saw Martinez made a mistake for Harvey Barnes, but I didn't see any others.
I was too depressed to watch football at that point.
Yeah, no, fair dues. No, the Martinez, I can't knock him because obviously he's been wicked all season. In fact, signing to the season will be a good debate for next week. Because James threw his name into the hat again. Sorry to bring up that match again, but no, we just weren't the best, really. Did you see, if you watched the goals, the closing down for Maddison's first goal? I mean, that was shocking, and obviously we were missing Grealish, which weren't ideal. Did you see what Villa have done actually with the fantasy football?
Mate, it's stupid.
I saw that. Yeah.
How stupid!
Like what? Yeah.
I lost points because of him.
What, Grealish?
Nah, I had Benchman.
Oh.
That was all right.
Bad Lingard in my team, and he's absolutely bumming everyone. So
Yeah.
I'm happy about
In fact, who did West Ham play on the weekend?
Spurs.
that. Tottenham.
Oh,
If there's anyone worse than Liverpool right now, it's Tottenham.
Yeah, no, definitely. Do you think
Right,
Liverpool will get a sack?
I also quickly want to say before you carry on, actually,
Yeah,
I want to give Everton credit because I'm not sure I did then. Everton deserved the win on the day, and they were very good. So congrats to them. I take nothing away from Everton or their fans or anything. I just want to say that quickly.
Yeah. Matt Waters was so negative about it last week, and do you know what? All the other Everton fans were, because I saw the team.
Yeah, no wonder why. They hadn't.
Yeah.
They don't want to get their hopes up. They know it's not going to happen for another 25 years.
Oh, Matt, every time you've said we're going to beat someone, we don't. So zip it,
Me
yeah?
and Matt are shocking a prediction.
Matt, you keep
We
going.
might
Yeah,
get one, we got
Liverpool
two
will
right.
put it in the bag. Liverpool will make top 4. Liverpool will still win the league. Liverpool will beat United. Liverpool will beat Everton. And then what happens?
On his own predictions, he's got one every week.
Should we go through our old recordings and just see Matt's predictions? It's none are as bad as him predicting Villa to win the FA Cup.
Well, in my defence,
Not...
I've turned it to Leicester, and I'm still very confident about that one.
To be fair, yeah, and I said Liverpool and we got knocked out the next round.
So on Villa again, we had our sports culture lesson with Ian yesterday, and he says that, well, he seemed adamant that Grealish will move on to a top 16 this summer. So, which I think from an outsider, it's such an easy thing to say. So I'll ask you as outsiders, assuming that Villa finished like at least 10th, do you think do you think Grealish will move on? Because it winds me up big time.
I think that unless, other than City, I can't see why Grealish would want to go anywhere else at the moment in the league because no one's been great. Like, he wouldn't go to Leicester. Why would he go to Arsenal or Tottenham? No chance. Well, Leicester, similar, like, I can't see him going there. They've got Maddison anyway. Liverpool, he doesn't really fit the team that well. I'd love him at Liverpool, but I can't see that happening. United are the only one that maybe, but they got Bruno, they've got Van der Beek. They don't really need Grealish. If City got him, that's the only place I could see him going, is Man City. Maybe.
I don't know where to go.
I agree with you. I just don't see him leaving this season. Like, maybe next year, but even so, like, why can't... Oh, I don't know. Honestly, I have no clue.
I think this is
Like last season, fair enough, but not this season. Like he was on the verge of relegation last season, but now Villa are looking definitely better than Arsenal, probably better than Spurs. And like, why would I want to say with the legend? There's much more appealing than just sitting on the bench at Man City.
Well, I don't think he'd sit on the bench, but right. So if he went last season and you got relegated, then yeah, he would have definitely left. And I reckon maybe in a couple of things because he's still reasonably young.
24.
But it's when if Aston Villa stay like this or drop off in the next 2 seasons, he'll leave. He does need to win trophies and have a good career at some point. It's whether Aston Villa can provide that for him. So people always use the Steven Gerrard example for staying and stuff like that. But same with Harry Kane. But difference with Gerrard and a lot of these players is Gerrard actually won stuff. Other than the Premier League, he won a lot at Liverpool. He won a lot of trophies. I think 9, maybe more. Like, whereas Grealish and Kane's the big example. Everyone's saying Kane will stay, and why wouldn't Kane leave? It's like Gerrard. He hasn't won anything. So, like, players like this that are trying to stay loyal, and loyalty is needed in football, so it's good that they want to stay. But, like, at some point, they need to win trophies, and so they can look back on their career and go, I've won some trophies. Gerrard can do that, and he stayed at his boyhood club, whereas these guys need to think about that.
Yeah, but like he'd still be loved by Villa fans. It depends what he values. Like, if he wants to come a legend of Villa, which he probably does, then I don't know if he'd become a legend if he leaves.
Why wouldn't he be a legend? He's been there 7 years. He's been like how long? 2014. So he's still been there 7 years. He's done a lot for them. He stayed with them while they were in the Championship, helped them get back up, cemented their place in the Premier League. Don't see how he couldn't be considered a legend.
Yeah, no, it'll go down as a legend, but obviously that can all change depending on how he leaves. Which I don't think he'll be a one-club man. He will leave because I don't think we can challenge for the Premier League within the next 5 years. I just don't see it happening at all. Yeah, but you know what? Even longer, at least 5. I think this season it's good for building hope, setting a foundation. This is where we now like get the best players, which we brought in a Champions League player in Sanson. So next season, it's where we have to win an EFL Cup or an FA Cup, and even push for Europa League qualification, which I think we'll just fall short of this season. But no, we need to set our expectations big, really.
But if realistically though, if you lose him and you lose Barkley, you could get relegated.
Barkley's shit. Do excuse my language, but I really do not like Ross Barkley. No. I don't really. No. I should rephrase that. I don't not really like him.
I'm keeping that in.
Yeah. No. I just think he's a bit of a lazy player. You know, you see John McGinn, he's proper box-to-box player. Now, I know Barkley's a number 10, and he's supposed to just like roam the attacking third and all, but I do want to see a bit more effort from him. And I think post-injury Barkley, it's just he's just not very good. And I think Villa fans got a bit too gassed. Now, signing now, I mean, I don't know what you think of him. You probably don't watch him each week, but no, I don't.
I have watched him each week.
Oh, of course, yeah.
As a Chelsea fan,
No, that's right.
he is shocking.
Yeah.
Well,
he is shocking.
I watched him quite a bit. I mean, but he only ever seems he does turn up a lot against Liverpool since he left Everton. Like for Chelsea last year in the FA Cup against us, he scored an unreal solo goal, and then his debut for Aston Villa turned into Ronaldinho. So but then I have seen him a few times after. He does score goals for you. You can't say he doesn't score goals. He has scored a few this season. Some big ones as well. Leicester away, Liverpool at home. Southampton got your winner away. Like that. So he can't say he's not done that. But I don't watch him every week, so I couldn't really say that he's been brilliant.
You need to give him another few months, don't you? But well, we'll move on from our miserable weekend, and we've done a few lists, haven't we? We've done top 10 dives. Yeah, top 10 dives. So how are we going to go about it? Should we just throw a bunch of names?
So we've all looked at dives. We don't individually have top 10 lists because there's actually surprisingly not been enough dives somehow. It seems like people are diving every week, but I couldn't find loads. So I think we're going to pick some dives and then we'll put them we'll say them and rank them in the top 10.
Yeah, Matt, you can throw some forward first if you want.
Yeah, mate. Well, all right then. I want to nominate Callum Wilson against Fulham earlier this year, for which I'm trying to think of the Fulham defender's name. Can't remember off the top of my head. But he got a red card.
Anderson is called.
Anderson.
Anderson.
Yeah. Received a red card for it, and Wilson miraculously was perfectly fine to pick himself up and score the penalty. I can't remember if it was pre-Christmas. I think it was around Christmas time. But honestly, it was just they showed replays. There wasn't even anything. He utterly fooled the referee, and it should be ashamed of himself for winning a game in that way.
They didn't win it though; they drew.
They drew, sorry, but for winning the penalty in that way.
Yeah, so I agree with that one. What really confused me about that one is they still had VAR after it, and they still gave the red and still gave the penalty. And I don't think anybody else watching over and over and over again can think that's a penalty. And no way is that a pen. And that's the thing. A lot of these dives have led to goals or pens and stuff. So like it's some of like the referees. Well, that's a debate for another day. Jesus, that'd take hours. But like, yeah, I agree with that one. Awful dive.
I didn't have that one, but I'll throw two forward. I sort of did. Can't lie. My number 1 and 2 were Jack Grealish.
He's done more than that, mate. Bloody
he's absolutely done more, yeah. But I think the two worst ones were Crystal Palace, which I'm sure we all have. That was at the back end of last season.
I chose just this season.
Which one was it this season?
I chose this season.
I did not just term one. And
that's fair. No, I've got another Grealish dive from this season was the West Ham one.
Yeah, what's for now with a challenge on Grealish.
Did you see that?
Oh my god, that has to be number 1. That has to be number 1.
It's like he was lagging in real life.
It was like he pushed him. I'm pretty sure he shoulder barred the West Ham bloke.
Described it here. He sort of put his body in front of Fornals. It was. He got bodied, and it was like obviously like 2 seconds later. Nathan.
He looked at him first. He goes like that, and then he stands still, and then he goes and holds his leg. What pees me off about Grealish and Fernandes? I know Salah's bad, and Salah. They all dive the
Salah's just as bad.
No, I'm not saying he's not.
Salah's the worst at it.
Huh? I don't think Salah's
the worst.
Actually,
Yeah, maybe not.
Salah's not.
He is.
No, Salah's not the worst because, right, quickly, he's bad. He's really, really bad, but he rarely ever does it outside of the penalty box. Doesn't make it better, but Bruno Grealish will do it for every foul and roll around. Salah doesn't roll around on the floor.
No.
Does it, falls over and gets back up.
Opinion, but I don't think
he barely gets touched with all of his.
He does that.
I think every game it happens. I swear. Whenever I watch it in, whenever I watch Liverpool does it once a game. I swear.
I mean, Fernandes. I'm sorry, watching Fernandes and Grealish fall over and roll around hurts my eyes a lot more than Salah. Obviously, because I'm a Liverpool fan, but I just think Salah dives. Yeah. He normally dives when he feels contact, but Fernandes and Grealish is another level. I'm sorry, they just are.
No, that's what I was going to say. Salah and
But the one against Everton for Salah was shocking.
Yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
When he does go down, there is usually like a tap on the arm, which he obviously uses that as
He
well.
does this, so he gets pulled, and then he goes, oh!
Yeah, like that. No, but there's contact, and he doesn't roll around, as you say. So he's not as bad as Bruno. I feel like Bruno dives more than Grealish. And the thing that racks me off about him is he complains about everything, and he's so vocal and verbal.
Mate, he's like Luis Suarez.
Calm it, yeah.
Mate, he's like Luis Suarez, like really loud. Like it's like, calm down, mate. You just thought, mate. He is someone that he's absolutely brilliant footballer, right? I can't fault he's unreal. It's hard to watch because he's playing for Manchester United, but he is brilliant. But oh my word, the amount of complaints he has. But then he does what he did against Arsenal, intentionally rolls his stud down Xhaka's Achilles. He's a nasty player, and I just think he's awful. He moans, he whines. Okay, that leads me on to one of my nominations. Yeah. Leicester away. Fernandes falls down on the floor, rolling around, screaming. And then I think it's Twanzebe passes the ball to him when he's on the floor, gets up, picks it up.
Yeah, it was.
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
Mate, it's awful.
Well, that was like the Wilson one when he just got straight back up and down.
Thing is, I don't think it's at the end of the day, it's not even their fault. Like, it's just they're playing on the ref stupidity. Like Salazar, he is just playing on the ref stupidity.
Sorry, it's their fault. I hate this because I think, yes, I agree that it's diving is now because refs don't give stuff if they don't fall over. I understand that, and that's bad. So yes, they do need to. But you watch rugby, and people are getting punched in the face, elbowed in the face, dumped, and they're not rolling around crying. Like some of these, you literally flick their ear and they'll fall over. It's getting ridiculous, like ridiculous. I'm sorry, they can never have a fight with somebody because, like, well, they obviously aren't like that because they fall over. It's some of the screams as well, screaming out. Like, it just
something recently that said if they've got this belief now that if they cry out, that will attract the referee's attention and that will get them it. What you were saying though about penalties if they fall over. Danny Welbeck, Brighton against Liverpool, he didn't fall over, did he?
Oh no.
no. That was given.
I'm not trying to.
He did fall over. No, he did. No, that was a dive. No. He did. He didn't fall over at first.
That definitely weren't a dive.
No. Wait. I'll put the clip up. He didn't fall over at first, and then a couple seconds later, he did.
Ball in behind Welbeck, significant. Ball in behind Welbeck, significant.
Like, I'm not joking. It was like he was fine. I think maybe it wasn't a dive, but it was definitely a difference in time between him actually getting contact and falling over. I think I'm right on that. Number one, it wasn't a penalty, just saying. But, like, it wasn't. I think even these days, like, penalties are so easy to get now. Like, even
And the World Cup, it was shocking. I remember that. Like, every game there was a pen.
I just like, what are the rules anymore? Like, so apparent. Oh, I don't know.
We could have a whole VAR debate, couldn't we?
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
like what you
back
said
to the
about
dives.
crying out. Actually, I think the most recent example I remember of that was, I don't suppose you remember the FA Cup match between Arsenal and Newcastle when Smith Rowe got sent off.
Yeah.
The commentator said, and you can hear it. I think whoever he tackled just sort of cried out and bellowed, and the referee got a bit too trigger happy with his red card. But I'll throw another one in there. Did anyone see Bamford's versus Villa earlier in the season?
Yes.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
Where
He's got a
stepped on
history of that.
Mings. Yeah, where he stepped on Mings. Yeah, I thought it was funny how he did like a bicycle kick in the box and fell back. But the worst thing for me was he held his ankle, and that proper round was.
I can't rank them though because I have to say Grealish against West Ham's number one. I think.
Oh, I don't know. Was it like two Villa players against Wolves, and they both like simultaneous dive
Grealish and
at the same
Douglas
time?
Luiz.
It was like a synchronized. Yeah.
Yeah, that.
Like, if they're in the Olympics, they're all winning gold.
I think
That's good.
so. One we haven't mentioned yet, and I got the link, so I'm going to put it on the screen now. Is Fernandes against Crystal Palace? Oh my god,
Oh, I've got that one.
mate, it's awful. Like, it burns my eyes. Like, honestly, that's got to be number two.
Yeah.
That has to be. And then Grealish and the Wolves.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I was watching Nathan Taylor. This was pretty bad at the weekend. He kind of kicked his leg at someone, and also after what happened tonight, he's a scumbag.
While we're on the topic of Man United,
Yeah.
Louis van Gaal. Can you have that one?
Oh yeah, that was funny.
Oh, yeah. No, that's a good one. Yeah.
That's a good one.
I think that's got to be top.
What else have I seen? There's been loads of bad ones.
Well, I sort of went the last 2 years and looked at a few. I mean, Mane is a bad culprit. He was on those videos, those comps. He appeared on that a lot.
He wins penalties as well, quite a few.
I think another one was a man that you two, Harry and Matt, will know about. Do you remember when Ryan Babel took the mick out of the Hetafe?
Yeah, Alan Neon.
Rolling around, fake right. That's a very good one.
That is all right.
Yeah.
If we're doing previous seasons, yeah.
Yeah, no, that was funny.
Like, okay, maybe this isn't a top 10 ranking. We're just discussing how bad diving is. In the Premier League.
The worst dives, yeah.
But like, honestly, like, it is got to the stage now where even the other day when against Everton, when Salah and Mane were diving every 5 minutes, it was actually starting to annoy me because it was like, get up. They only ever do it when they know the ball's getting away from them. which is what it's just like. Just stay on your feet. You're not going to win anything from that. It's just really frustrating. Salah's against Everton was really bad. Mane did one against Everton, and it's just sign of desperation. And I hate it. I really hate it.
Like surely they like
that they've got into your head.
I'm pretty sure Salah was through on goal when it was with Pickford, so anything could happen.
He was right, but like the problem is Salah feels the little tap on his shoulder. No, but I think his touch was bad and it was getting away from him. Pickford would have got there anyway. But he doesn't wait for them to yank it, because I reckon if he waits, they would actually pull him back properly.
Yeah.
But he doesn't. It's the first sign he gets touched. And the problem with Salah is he dives, he throws his arms. Some of them are so bad at acting, like it is painful. I don't know how these referees buy it, because they like throw their arms in the air, or they're rolling on their ankles, flipping all over the place. I think I only got really annoyed about all this. Like, I was always annoyed about diving, but since I've started watching rugby more and more, and the Six Nations come on, and you see some of the hits they get, the punches, like the elbow a couple of years ago in the World Cup, the Frenchman against Wainwright from Wales, and then just like doesn't matter to them. And it's like, I just wish in football this was similar.
Also, because the refs have authority.
But also the respect of the referees, like how if somebody's getting sent off, you can hear the referee talk for starts, but they're explaining it all, and the player just goes, yeah, and just walks off. Not the none of this.
There's no swear. There's no swearing in rugby. Like they just respect one another. Whereas in football, it's just mental.
It's getting out. Football's getting out of control, because even now when we've got VAR, the players are moaning, like as in like before. When something happens, the players are going, handball, screaming in the referee's face. And it's like, wait a minute, I'm listening. Like, chill out, boys. And I'm saying referees have been really poor this season, but they don't get the respect of the players on the pitch at all. And they don't try and earn it. They don't stamp their authority on it.
Have you seen like there's a referee charity that want to give refs a guard of honor whenever they step on the pitch?
Okay, no. Just they don't deserve that. No. I just think the game of football needs to be looked at like in that respect, the respect on the pitch. Like, I get frustration because that's how we all feel, but sometimes like, people like Bruno screaming in your face, like moaning about every little decision, like it's just getting too much.
It's annoying because if they're good at their jobs, people respect them more, but they're not the refs.
Well, I like what that championship ref did the other day, where he sort of squared up to the guy and
League One.
I'm the man in charge here. And do you know what? A lot of players sort of backed him. I remember Grealish came out and
a lot of did. Even the guy that Judge from Ipswich, he was like, he doesn't deserve anything. Like, he shouldn't have squared up to him, but because in the end, I think he should have stood his ground and see if Judge did him, because he actually kind of went in to Judge. But I like the concept because it does show I'm not having any beep, I'm not having any of this. Like, I just play the game. If people just played the game, like, it's just be so much easier. Like, we can talk about this another day, but the microphones on the referees, we could hear everything they're saying, like rugby. Life would be so much easier, and football would be.
To be fair, in football, it would just be bleeping every 10 seconds. So.
Yeah, but that's what maybe with the mics on the refs, players would stop. Refs just start sending people off for doing it. Like, if it gets so bad, say I'm picking on Bruno again, but I'm using an example. Say if Bruno does it 3 or 4 times, causing him an effing joke. Like, if they do that in rugby, they get sent off half the time. So, I mean, if he did it in football, they should get like a warning, and then if they do it again, just send them off. Like, cause it's like, and then that would stamp it out the game. Eventually.
Yeah. It's a throwback to the Italian ref. Is it Galina? Do you remember the bald fella?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's just
bald guy.
Yeah. No. It's a sign of the times, because it wouldn't be sniffed at back then. But obviously, everything's so PG now. It's like, oh, sorry for the swear words, and it's football, so we'll sort of move on with it. Well, it's 12 now, so I think we'll spend like the last 15 minutes talking about our top 5 Prem seasons. I think that's a good way to sort of leave it off. I've made a list again. Matt, you can take the floor with this one if you want. Do you want to start with like number 5 if you ranked him?
I lost you for a minute there.
Oh no, yeah. Do you want to go ahead with your list? Top 5 seasons.
Yeah, so, straight in. Well, I start number 1 was 11, 12.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're all in agreement on that one.
Yeah.
That's got to be the one.
The only downfall was Bolton got relegated.
Yeah.
1920. Yeah, they did, didn't they? 'Cause that
What,
was,
in 11-12? Bolton?
yeah,
Yeah.
Bolton,
I
Blackburn,
thought-
Wolves.
Whoa.
yeah, wasn't it?
Yeah, they did. Yeah, they
No,
did.
they were safe.
Yeah, they did. They did. I
Yeah.
don't know why I didn't. I thought they were 12-13 for some reason. But that was just my head.
1920,
Second.
for obvious reasons.
No.
No, even though I'm as a Liverpool fan, it's just not
Not
good.
as a neutral. Not as neutral.
Not as we're talking as neutral because I loved it, but as a fan, it was a bit
What's the
boring.
criteria here? What we actually discussing? No,
Competitive, loads happen. Like there's so many memories from
I think
11-12 was one of the
global
best
pandemic
times of all time.
is,
Huh?
I think global pandemic. limit of-
We were 6 points away though. I mean, I don't know. I just think I know it's a global pandemic. It's interesting, but like I don't know. I can't say that's.
Nah, at the end of the day, it's your opinion and like what you got memories from. I mean, that was
True,
the
yeah.
first season I actually went to a Premier League game. I'd never been to a Premier League game, and I went to 3 last season:
Right.
Brighton, Watford, and Liverpool at Villa Park. So that was a good season for me. I
Unlucky.
mean, one that gave me like heart attack. I thought we were going down, obviously, but no, it was a good one for you, especially.
All right. Well, tell you what then. I might just swap out one of my ones. I was going to say, tell you what, number 3 then, 13, 14.
Yeah, I've got that.
Yeah, that's in my.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's not-
title race and yeah. But then,
Yeah.
all right, Lewis, on that
Dip.
one, I'll go for 2007, 2008, which is the first time I went to see a Premier League game, which Nathan, you'll be pleased to know involved Bolton.
Yeah. 2007, 2008 when Chelsea won it. No, lost it by 2 points or something, wasn't it? I think I had that one as well.
That was United won it against.
Well, if we're all
Yeah.
going off our first,
Yeah, United won it.
I'm not putting mine in. My first Premier League game was in 2006. Jeez, I'm old. No, I'm not really, but like,
I
but I'll do my list.
I don't know what my first Premier League game was.
Sheffield United 2, Bolton 2. A decent introduction to Premier League football, 2-1. I think what's his name? That guy that used to play for Liverpool, that really aggressive bloke. Diouf.
Jace.
Where he scored for Bolton.
Oh, who?
Oh Jesus.
Is it El Hadji?
El Hadji.
Is that how you say it? Yeah. I swear he's from Bolton. I think he was playing.
Yeah,
Anyway, 2-0.
mate, he's a horrible man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Go on, what's yours, Harry?
Go on, Harry. Yeah.
Number 1, 2011-12. I think. I'm not putting it. Oh no, I'm not putting it number 1. But 92-93's got to be in the top 5.
Just because it was the first one.
I put that one
Yeah,
just
it was
because it was the
actually quite a
one. Yeah.
It was quite dramatic with the Sheffield Wednesday United game, the famous Ferguson jumping up and Brian Kidd jumping to his knees on the pitch. Yes, it was the first season as well. But it wasn't like, it was a pretty close title race in the end. So I'd actually say 92.
Norwich finished third, did they?
Huh?
Norwich finished third, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, they might have finished. Oh, yeah. Something like that. I don't actually know. But I remember that it's memorable to me. So I'm going to say 92-93 is 5th for me. Second. Ooh. That's a tough one, you know. I think it's. I would talk about putting the Invincibles in there, but again, it's similar to Liverpool, as in they ran away with it, and it was actually quite comfortable in the end. This is tough. This is actually really tough.
Nathan, do you want to shout out yours? Actually, go on.
Yeah.
Nathan can shout out his.
Oh yeah. So I had the Aguero season, the slip season, the one where Man U won, the first one, and then I had Leicester as well. Just because that was the most shocking win ever.
Harry, Matt, you didn't say Leicester, did you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Of course that's got to be in there.
That was my second one, which I completely forgot was the season Villa went down with 17 points. I'll be honest, I don't remember anything from that season. So I'm putting it second.
The 07 or 8 one was when Derby got the lowest points as well.
Yeah.
They got like 11 or something.
Oh, yeah.
11 exactly. Yeah.
Sugar.
Oh, mate, I can't believe I forgot that one.
So Robbie Savage going down's always good.
When did Lescott tweet a picture of his car?
Mate, after the 6-0 Liverpool loss.
It was after 6-0 against Liverpool, wasn't it? Yeah, you're right, yeah.
Oh, I know mine, actually, that none of you would have got. I remember it now. 1997 to 98, Arsenal were 13 points down.
I remember that one. I remember reading about that one.
What about 96 then?
And they won it.
What about 95, 96 then? You'll never win anything with kids, and then they overhauled. He's got to go to Middlesbrough and get something, and I would love it if we beat them. Love it.
Was that 95, 96?
That was 95, 96 because it was. I think it was about October 95 or September 95 when Alan Hansen said, "You'll never win anything with kids," and Man United went on to win it.
Mate, that is awful, isn't it?
I'll throw it. Go on.
So I'll do my ranking now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go. So top 11, 12, second 15, 16, third 97, 98 because Arsenal doing that's just unbelievable. Fourth 13, 14. Have I said that? Yeah. And fifth 95, 96. Because they were Newcastle 12 points clear, I'm pretty sure. And United came back and won it. It's very rare that happens. Well, actually, no. I take that back. 18, 19. 97 points Liverpool, 98 points Manchester City. That's unreal, that. Like, two teams slogging it out, beating everyone. You don't know who's going to win the league. And it was all on an 11-meter difference because Stones cleared it off.
11 meter?
We're 11 meters.
11 millimeters.
11 centimeters.
11 millimeters.
No.
But I think if a league's that close, and there were that many points, and they both were beating everybody, and they were so competitive. They were giants. I think that has to be the top 5. So I'm going to put them fifth. That season.
Yeah. Well, I had 11-12 number 1, 15-16 number 2, 13-14 third, and then Nathan, I can't remember if you said 16-17 when Chelsea won the league.
I didn't.
No.
What? No, I didn't say that one. No, but nah. Whenever Chelsea win it, they aren't very good. To be fair, they just dominate.
I thought Conte was a bit of a joy to watch. I loved the whole 3 at the back. David Luiz was on bits. And
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
The way I went about it, I felt weird putting anything before I was born in 2002, and then to be honest,
2002.
Yeah, no, I'm young, man. Or even in 2006 when I was 4 years old. So and I don't remember much football before 2010.
So when I went to my first game, you were 4.
Yeah, I was thinking that when you said it. Now
Should be mad.
So obviously a lot of mine are quite recent, and then I went 18-19 as number 5 because, as you said, 98 points, 97. That's mental.
That is mental.
Wait,
yeah.
Harry, how old were you in 2006?
Oh, I was only 6. I was only 2 years older than him.
Oh, okay.
Right.
No. So yeah.
Where do you think this one's going to rank then? This season? Top 5, top 10?
I actually think quite low. I mean, Manchester City are going to breathe it, aren't they? Relegation's been decided.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
Fulham. I'm back in Fulham. They look great. I'm sorry. Do you not think Fulham look good?
Don't rule out West Brom.
No, they're dead and buried. I want to voice a public apology to Harry because I thought there'd be no chance, but I tell you.
Fulham, I told you. Right?
Yeah.
I still do. Matt, I'm sorry. How have you watched Fulham these last 2 wins they've got?
Yeah, I watched them against Everton, yeah.
They were brilliant.
Yeah, but what's your point? They're not going to overhaul it.
Do you really
Matt, this is a prediction. Matt, your prediction is they're not going to stay up, so they are going to stay up.
Yeah.
Formally, yeah.
Yeah.
Formally, Fulham are going down.
Do you want to bet some? Should we do a wager?
Say again, Matt.
Should we do a wager?
Yeah, do it. Yeah.
20 quid?
50. No, I'm joking. No, I don't have that much
God.
money. Oh, okay. We're living together next year, Matt.
Mm-hmm.
First time we go to the pub, all of the rounds.
Between me and you.
You, yeah.
So if Fulham,
Oh, God damn it.
If Fulham go down, you have to pay for it, yeah?
Yeah.
Deal.
Shaken. No fingers crossed, my side. Come on, Fulham. You can do it.
I'm glad that was. I think that's a good way to sort of leave it off. That was a good hour and a bit, weren't it? So.
Well, we actually, wait quickly, Lewis. We have never, overall, we haven't ranked the 5 together.
Oh, of course, yeah. Do you want to do that then?
Go on then, quickly, yeah.
What
That's
was
a
that?
good call.
Aguero's top.
11, 12.
Aguero.
Number 2.
Without a doubt.
Me and Harry both said Leicester number 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot. I completely forgot that one. That's definitely got to be in there.
The 3 horse race, 2013-14, number 3.
Was it a 3-horse race?
Yeah.
That's what I
Chelsea
wrote
were
down.
involved.
Chelsea kind of-
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
Unless you want to throw any others in there, because obviously I didn't get.
I still think that you got to have a 90s one in there. It's not like it didn't
Yeah,
exist.
go on then. You throw one of them in number 3. Which one?
I'm going to say 97, 98.
Grand. We'll go with that. Number 4.
I want to nominate 95, 96 just for the You'll Never Win Anything with Kids and.
Feel for the love.
Go on then. And then number 5. I know me and Harry both said 18, 19.
Yeah.
Does anyone beg to differ?
Yeah,
Um,
no, I'm happy
Yeah.
to do that for the.
All right. So if we, so we'll put it on the screen now.
98 point
Yeah.
total.
5th, 18, 19. 4th, 94 and 95, 96. 3rd, 97, 98. 2nd, 15, 16. And 1st,
11, 12.
11, 12. The best Premier League season of all time.
Yeah,
I don't think that will ever be topped. It was honestly,
It can't be, can it?
I didn't understand how that could be.
Next season,
It couldn't be.
Erling Haaland scores for Chelsea. Last minute.
And didn't you say you wanted to be a commentator, Nathan? That was very inspiring.
Oh, no.
Right, no, good stuff. We'll probably put like a funky graphic up and ask, like, see if you obviously agree with us. But well, cheers, lads, and obviously cheers for watching. Add like graphics and socials are all around the screen, so follow them if you want to. And obviously, if there's any suggestions for what you want us to, for what you wanted to see us speak about next week, do drop them in the comments. These top 10 lists are quite good, to be fair. I feel like they bring in a bit of our opinion, so keep them up. But no, nice one. Thanks for watching.